Hey guys, I'm just going to show you how to do a setup with your tanks. Just a simple setup, just nothing fancy, but how to go about doing, if you're thinking about making up a tank, and how to do it without any problems. Like a lot of people put in stones or other stuff and they get a lot of residue in their tank and they have lots of problems cleaning it. So we're going to go through this step by step, just doing a simple setup. Okay, in our bucket here we've got stones ready to go, and what we're going to do is we're just going to start a wash with the hose. And so we're going to pop our hose in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let the hose overflow, and it's just going to get all the residue and the stones out. So when the residue starts, just let it overflow until the water runs clear. So it's all standing up now. Alright, so now we've got the water overflowing, and what we're doing is just getting all that stuff out of the stones. So when we put our stones in the tank, we're not going to get cloudy, otherwise all that cloud that's in the bucket that you can see now is would be in your tank, and you'd have big problems with it all settling down. Yes, pumps can get rid of all that stuff, but it's not necessary to have that in there, and it's much easier and cleaner if you just do it bit by bit. And of course, depending on the size of your tank, that might do your first tank. If it's bigger, you just keep repeating this process with a little bit of stones and about quarter full of bucket, and overflow it, let all the stuff move out. And when it clears, it'll clear after a while. Once it clears, then you just need to turn the stones back up again to make all the stuff come out. So then you have it on quite hard. So you turn it up and you just let it overflow until it gets clean again. And eventually, once you stop stirring up stones, once you've stirred up stones enough all the time, it'll run clear, and then it won't get dusty or dirty anymore. And that's the time when you know that you can put that in your tank and it'll be safe. Yeah, so now it's run clear, we're just going to stir it up just to make it all go a bit more grubby, because we're going to try and get all that grub out, all of it. So make it more cloudy, and just stir it all up at the bottom. And yeah, so once we've stirred it all up, it should go all cloudy again, which it has a little bit. It won't be as bad as the first time, but we get rid of all that stuff until it runs completely clear. The next time we stir it up, you just keep repeating the process until it stops getting cloudy. And once it's not cloudy at all, you can put it all back in your tank. Okay, now what's happened is it's run clear. We've repeated our cycle of washing the stones through. And so now we're going to empty it out. So we're just going to take the hose out. This is going to be ready to go into our tank. Right. Okay, so now we've washed out our stones, it's all ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our first load of stones in. Pop those in there. So we're going to crack our tank with deep tanks like this and just lay it on solid and pull out. And you can spread them out as much as you like. And so you got your stones in there. I probably need a bit of a stool to go on this one, but you just sort of spread it over the way you want to, and you lay out what you want to do, and then you can work out what you're going to do for rocks, caves, things like this. One's going to be for cichlids. Alright, so now I'm repeating the process of just putting a new lot of stones, because the first lot's not going to do me in that tank. But the reason why we do that is because if we put it all in at once, then it's going to be harder for us to get the residue out, and that's why we only fill it to quarter a bucket each time with stones, and then overflow the bucket and just keep churning the stones up until all the residue stops. So this water that's in here was just going to run clear again. Now, depending on where you live, there may be some chlorine or dangerous stuff in the water. Now, if you're just rinsing it through, it's not too bad, but make sure you have your dechlorinated stuff to go into your tank when it's time to go. Here in Hawke's Bay we've got very pure good water, but other places don't tend to have. So I've heard of people boiling river water where it's not polluted, or having to buy it in. But if you're lucky enough to live in a place like where we are, where we've got good water, then the old hose water's not too bad. Right, so this is the last load of stones I'm going to do for the tank. These are just plain dark stones, and they're just plain normal stones, river stones. What I'm going to do after I've put this in is I'm going to go and put a different size stone, just for effect, as well as putting large rocks later on for. So I'm going to put these larger stones in, and I'm going to sort them around. I'll show you what I'll do with it later. And you do these stones the same way, same thing with sand, same thing with any type of stones. You just rinse it through until it goes clear and you keep tuning it. So yeah, okay, this is our last bucket of stones. That should do it for us with the dark stones before we start sort of having a bit of a play around. This particular tank, because it's for a Jack Dempsey Cichlid, which I'm going to do this up for, it's pretty basic, and what we're doing is basically just stones and rocks, so there won't be any plants in this tank. So this is just a simple Cichlid tank. So now we're just going to pour this in here. Tall tanks, you know, crack it up and tipping it up high. We're just going to spread all these stones out. So we would like to have it. And we can make little rises on the sides and things like that. So now this has covered the bottom of the tank to the depth that we want it. I'm just making a flat base, I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. So now we're going to introduce our large rocks before we introduce our river stone. Right, so these are the stones I've selected for the tank, which I'm going to put in there. Most of them are slate, and some of them are just large river rocks. If you do get them from other places, if you don't know where the sources are from, and even the stuff that you do, it's always good to know that to boil them if you can possibly do that. Wash them under hot water with a brush, and that stops any harmful stuff being on them. It kills any bad bacteria or bad stuff, which would be harmful to your fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a play around in there, and I'm going to arrange those rocks, and we'll have a look once it's done. Right people, this is what I've got so far. I'm going to be putting in some slightly bigger stones and a bit of driftwood in there too. I'll be putting that back. So this is what we've done so far. And yeah. Right guys, this is a top view of the tank. I've got a little internal filter ready to go. I've hooked up a bubble keeping that's under the gravel, and a couple of tubes, and it just runs under the gravel. You just bury it under the gravel, and so that's all ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my bit of driftwood that I've got here, and I'm just going to place it in here like so. There's all sorts of ways you can do this, like you can sort of highlight. It's not going to hide so great, but it's you know, there's different ways of doing things. And this tank could probably use something like a canister filter. It's quite a large tank and that's quite a small filter, but since there's only going to be one Jack Dempsey in there, it's not going to be so bad. So as you can see, it's not so bad. I'm going to start filling this up now and popping in the heater, and well, that'll stick once it's got water in there. And yeah, this is just about it, because we've got just to fill the water up, leave it for a day or so and put a jack in, let the water get up to temperature. Now filling the water, a good thing to know is that is to remember that if you've got chlorine or any other sort of chemicals in your water, or not so good water, is that you need good water, otherwise your fish will die. If you've got chlorine in your waters, it's good to get the anti-chlorine stuff from your pet shop or fish shop, and so it'll neutralise all the bad stuff in your tank. And yeah, so she's all ready to go, and I'll give you an update very shortly. Okay people, I've got just about everything ready to go. I've got a little filter hanging here ready to be plugged in and turned on once the water level's up. We've got our heater ready to go. If you're from a non-tropical area, it's a good thing. I've got a little bubble curtain at the back, and they're really important to keep your oxygen aerating. The other filters you can use, like this, would be quite handy to have a canister filter, which is an external filter, and you can use sponge filters too. But yeah, for this setup I've just chosen a small internal filter and a bubble curtain to aerate the water inside. And so I've put in a nice bit of wood in there, and we'll see what happens from here. We'll add our fish later, but this is pretty much a simple setup, and anyone can sort of set something up like this. Yeah, just a little bit of imagination and it should be pretty cool. Alright, as you can see, our tank, after we've done the rinse of all the gravel, it's not as murky as it could be, and our filter will take care of what little bit of cloudiness there is. So it saves a lot of changing the water when you start change. Now with the water, when you fill it up with the good water, it's not chlorinated or got any bad stuff in it. It'd be good to leave it for a couple of days to settle, and just have it keep going through. If you've got an old sponge filter from another tank, that's also good, because it keeps your good bios going, keeps a good bacteria in there, and gives good chemistry for the for the fish and the whole living space. So that so that you have a good, nice, bustling tank with no problems. Otherwise you get what's called new tank syndrome, and it can cause all sorts of problems. It's when the good bacteria isn't built up properly, and you get things like ammonia spikes, and ammonia is very deadly to your fish, and it can be caused by overfeeding, all sorts of things like that. And when you have good bacteria, it battles that sort of stuff, and it stops a lot of it from getting dangerous. So and with the bubbles, so if that turns into nitrate, and then it turns nitrate, and then from that it turns into nitrate. So good bacteria turns the ammonia into nitrate, and as that goes along, it comes to nitrite, and the nitrites dissipate with the bubbles that go to the top of the surface. So it's like a cycle. This one's not going to have plants in, because cichlids like to dig up plants and pretty much they change the whole tank. They move things around so much that yeah, it makes it very hard to keep plant. The only plant you can really keep with cichlids that are like that. Dwarf cichlids are a bit different, but the larger cichlids is things like Indian fern, which will float on the top, or top sort of plant, and that helps filter a lot of the ammonia as well, and gives back good bacteria, because the fish poo and overfeeding and things like that, that will cause ammonia, and so all the good bacteria eats ammonia, as I said, all the stuff that causes ammonia, I should say, and it filters through plants, and it turns it into all the good stuff. So yeah, so this is just about full, and we can leave this for a couple of days or so. Hey guys, so now we've had a few days rest, and we've got our tank all ready to go. We've put our fish in, and we've just got a nice little tank. Anyone can do a sort of setup like this, and this tank is just for one large Jack Dempsey, and he's made himself at home in there. So yeah, so this is a finished product, and I hope you viewers out there and enjoy the how to set up a cichlid tank. The reason why it's got a small filter in here was for one fish. Of course, you need bigger filters and things for the more fish that you have. And yeah.